sports reporter at Channel 4 News. He joins us now from London. Welcome to the program, Jordan. Thanks so much for joining us. We know that racist incidents in sports are nothing new. They seem to be a perennial issue, but they seem to be occurring more and more recently. Are these attacks or incidents happening more, or are we just drawing more attention to them?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that we're definitely seeing an increase, in particular post the pandemic and the lockdown, of tensions from people, a general aggression. I think when people were locked down, which is spilling over into the football stadia. I think we're seeing that in certain games in the English Premier League, where we're seeing fans just being generally more aggressive to footballers and officials anyway. But that manifests itself in certain ways through racism. So I think there is an increase in racism within football, but there's also a bigger visibility of it as well. And I think until we really address and understand what it is we're dealing with and accept we have a problem, I don't think we're ever going to really make any significant moves in trying to rid this evil from our game.
We know regulators, administrators and even businesses have been accused of being too slow to respond and condemn racist incidents in sport. Do you think that's improving now?
No, I don't. I really don't. And I think that there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of talk, there are lots of initiatives and campaigns and slogans and a lot of posture about wanting to rid racism from football. But at the end of the day, this is not as difficult as I think a lot of people make it out to be. If you are serious about trying to rid racism from the game, you have to have sanctions and punishments in place that show you're serious. I think campaigns and slogans and governing bodies having discussions and meetings about it is all well and good, but this doesn't actually affect the tangible difference that needs to be made. I've for a long time suggested that, I'm well past the idea of players walking off the pitch. I'm now at the stage now where players shouldn't be walking onto the pitch. The only way we're going to really hold the governing bodies and authorities to account is if we threaten that their finances and threaten the games being played themselves. If there are no games, believe me, you will see within days, a click of a finger, they will put in legislation and implement sanctions to ensure the safety of football players and football fans is of paramount as of an issue. But while we keep talking about it, while we keep posturing and keep saying how difficult and how hard it is, things are never going to change. So for me, it's either pick up your ball and walk away, or let's just keep having a chat about racism in football, because I can't see any other solution coming to the fore when it comes to trying to kick racism out of football.
That does lead me to my next question, because as we know, money talks in sport very loudly, in fact. I'm wondering, what role does corporate America, corporate UK, or the corporate world more broadly have to play in addressing this scourge of racism in sport?
Well, it's the most significant element of this, because for me, the reason why there's no real tangible and practical things implemented to fight racism is because fighting racism isn't lucrative. Fighting racism doesn't make anybody any money. It's the right thing to do, but it doesn't make anybody any money. In fact, if anything, you might have to lose a little bit of short-term finances as well. So the reason why I believe we don't see corporate America and corporate UK and all the institutions that make money from this game really showing teeth is because they know they're going to lose money. There's no money to be made in this as well. We saw in the European Super League proposal just last year, within 48 hours, that was scrapped. It was scrapped because people decided that this wasn't what people wanted. The football fans I'm talking about here. So I think there is definitely will to fight against things that we think are negative or a threat to our football and our game. We just have to have the will to do that. And that, for me, the center of that are finances. The reason why these corporations will not really do what's needed to fight racism is because financially it's not within their interests.
Okay, Jordan, Jarrett-Bryan, we will have to leave it there, but thank you so much again for joining us on the program.